Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another Mountain Man Monday live stream. Today is episode number 57. It is January the 4th, 2021. Yes, it's the new year. This is the first live stream on the channel of 2021. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday, Christmas, and New Year. And I'll be looking forward to anybody who stops by this evening. As always, all the live streams on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel are available and archived under the live stream playlist. Please check them out. And anybody who is here live, welcome to join in the chat and say hello. If you're in the background listening, we welcome all you folks as well. And I always give an extra special warm welcome to all the new people who are here on the channel or may have not visited before. Welcome to you. And yeah, it's 2021. It's we got done with the craziness that was 2020. I was watching one of the New Year's Eve television broadcasts. That's what we usually do, pretty generic at home. And they kicked it off by saying, normally those television programs are very positive. What were the memories of the year? What was great of that current year, and then looking forward to the new year. But the leadoff was, tonight we'll be celebrating ending the worst year in the world, or the worst year ever. And so I think there was a lot of sentiment of that about 2020, but there were also some positive things too. Anyway, I hope to you and yours, you all had a wonderful holiday season. Happy New Year. And it's time to get going with this year. We got a few people who have showed up and said hello. First across the start line tonight is all about the Smokies. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man, hello to you. Hope you're having a great start to your week, a nice Monday, a nice new year, and everything's going well with you. I always plug all about the Smokies, another YouTube channel to check out if you enjoy what's going on in the Smokies. Check out that channel. We got, AZ Rock is here. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man. I hope you're doing well. This is an old regular of the channel with our group of regulars. Haven't seen you in a while. Happy New Year to you, and hope you are doing well. I believe I just read a comment from you on the Eclectic Candyman side of the fence that you had watched my new video and enjoyed it, so I appreciate that. And I hope you're doing well. We got Kentucky Girl. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man. I hope you're having a wonderful new year. I can't complain. Starting out nicely. I had a nice break. Enjoyed the time off and the holiday season, spending time with the kids and the family. That's exactly what I wanted to do. It was very hectic previous to the holiday. And so it was just nice to, kick it back a gear and spend some time with the family. We got Chad here. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man and everyone in chat. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you, Chad, to your family. Hope you're having a great start to your week, a nice Monday, a nice new year, and everything is going well. Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. Foxy Wolf coming in with a bang. 2021 Mr. Mountain Man Monday. I'm back. Look at that bruise right there. Everybody in the family has been trying to figure out what the bruise is from. It's got like a hole in the middle. It must have hit like a round pipe or something, maybe the end of a barbell, or I don't know, but let's use this arm. And I brought it out of focus. You know me doing that. Now it's all blurry. But yes, having a great new year. That's always drives me crazy. Hold on. Let's do the old lens trick. There we go. Just one and done. All right. Yes. Love the fireworks and the emojis. Very, very cool. Foxy's reminding me, from this program right here, which is called StreamYard, I cannot really moderate the chat that well, and which is fine because as the host, it's kind of difficult anyway. I'm managing my content and the stream, and so I do, even though I don't have a very large channel and there's just a handful of people here, there are folks that could come in and maybe say something out of left field. So it's nice to have the moderators like Foxy and others to keep an eye on that, because I honestly can't. I don't even have the power. Oh, there is a button to hide, but all that does, like if I hit Foxy's comment here, that just hides her comment. And then I can put the user in timeout, or I could block the user, but it doesn't let me remove the comment. See, I can put it right. Not that I'd remove this comment. Anyway, thank you to the moderators for keeping things set up straight here on Mountain Man Monday. I appreciate it. Hey, we got Living Like Larry. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man, and all. Love the graphic there. That is fantastic. Happy New Year to you, and I hope everything is going well with you. Another channel there on YouTube for everybody to check out, Living Like Larry. Yes, give us snow reports if anybody's got snow. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight. We got Jennifer Rathbone. Hey, Mr. Mountain, everyone in chat. Happy New Year to you as well. Hope you're having a great start to your week. A fellow Western North Carolina. We got Lily. A quick hello. Sorry I can't stay, but I'll play catch up later. Happy New Year. And to you and yours, Mr. Mountain Man. To you as well. I hope you're having a wonderful start to the year. Any kind of year, hopefully better than 2020 for most folks. So it only goes up from here. So everything's going well, and happy to have you, even albeit for a short time. Everybody's saying, howdy, 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 howdy. Let's see. Oh, that's very kind of you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's always cool to have thumbs up if you enjoy. Got all our regulars. Great Monday, Mr. Mountain Man, and y'all. To you as well. Over there in East Tennessee, our show, Our Story, another YouTube channel. Please check them out. Hope you're having a great start to your new year and everything is going well. Did you watch the Buckeyes Friday night, Mr. Mountain Man? You bet I did. Now, where I live, we're only a stone's throw away from Clemson, although Asheville, like a lot of places, is kind of a melting pot of people from different areas. But you still have hardcore Clemson fans here. So I remember the next day I went to work out at the gym, and I adorned in all my Ohio State Buckeye gear. I got a few looks, but incredible game. For those of you that don't follow football or follow sports, my favorite college team in football is the Ohio State Buckeyes, and they won the game that will put them in the college football national championship next Monday. Very excited about that. That is super awesome. I'm a very passionate fan, so I'm very happy about them. Now, if the Steelers can just keep moving along in the playoffs, this might be a high point of the 2020 regular season. Moderators are essential workers. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it again with this software. It's limited in what I can do. Ted and Deborah Harrison are here. Hey there, Mr. Mountain Man. Hope you and the family had a good holiday. I had a great holiday. Great Christmas. New Year's, everything was good because I didn't have to do a lot other than what I wanted to do or what we wanted to do. And is that not kind of the best, when you're not having a lot of commitments or deadlines or this or that? It was nice. And so I enjoyed it. Not sure what happened to your Steelers at the end of the season. Maybe they'll surprise in the playoffs. So they had a few games that were duds. We have a lot of hurt key players on defense. It did make a difference. And they're also, for those, if you don't follow the Steelers, because of the pandemic and the schedule shift, there was a stint there where they played 3 games in 12 days. And for those of us that are not NFL football players, that does a toll on the body, even those younger guys. 3 games in 12 days will beat you up. And I think a lot of factors put into it, but they put it in 5th gear against Indy at the end. They won that game. They played a lot of second stringers yesterday. So the loss was not indicative of a real game. We'll play the Browns again next week. Same show, different time, different outcome with a W. Let's see here. We've got Paulina Maria. Howdy. I love the howdy. How is everyone here? We're all doing well. How are you doing? Hope you had a great holiday. Happy New Year. Great start to your year. Let's see. Yep. Everybody's saying hello. I always wear my Buckeyes gear when we drive through Alabama. My friends think I'm trying to get killed. I know, again, for those of you who may not follow sports, the what's called the SEC or Southeastern Conference, and why I preface that for folks that don't follow sports, we got people from all over, but even a lot of people I talk to, my passion for sports came from the family I grew up in and my dad and mom liking football. Growing up in Central Ohio, that's why I'm the odd combination of Steelers and Buckeyes. So I grew up in Central Ohio, so we were naturally Ohio State fans, but my roots of my family on my father's side are all from Pennsylvania. and the Western Pennsylvania. So that's where the Steelers come from. And so actually, when I was growing up in the 80s, weren't terrific years. The Ohio State would always get beat by Michigan. The Steelers were terrible after their late 70s run. The 80s was not a great time. So I remember the bad years, but yeah, so when but down here in the South, the Southeastern Conference has a lot of passionate fans, and they typically give folks in the Big Ten a really hard time about the teams we like. Are you sure that's not a bite from something, Mr. Mattman? Yeah, because it's not raised and it hurts when I press it. It definitely is like a bruise. And so I'm just not sure. We were talking about dinner tonight, and I was like, what is that from? It does. It looks like if it was like a spider bite or something, but it doesn't itch or anything. It's definitely a bruise. But anyway, does anybody know if the restrooms and visitor centers are open in the national park? If anybody, I don't. I'm assuming by national park you mean Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I don't. I'll tell you one thing about Great Smoky Mountains National Park versus like Blue Ridge Parkway and stuff is Great Smoky Mountains National Park is a much greater effort to stay open and allow visitors, and because it's a national park. Whereas Blue Ridge Parkway, if there's just a drop of or a flake of snow or a little bit of ice, boom, they just close it down. It's just like non-essential. You all who have been following me for a while, probably Kentucky girls, well, remember my little rants about the restrooms at the parks around my birthday last August. I was saying tongue in cheek, you probably get something worse than COVID used in those restrooms. They were disgusting. I mean, overflowing trash. And I mean, it was gross. So it was like one of those things, like I would rather go in the woods than have to use those facilities. It was nasty. But anyway, it's a sign of how busy and popular the parks are, even in a pandemic year, which I think is amazing. In that, hopefully the money through the visitor center and other donations pouring in and keeping the parks nice. But there is kind of some wear and tear of that initial entrance into the park, and those first few trails and areas are really heavily used by the vacationers. And so, I wonder if in the next 5 or 10 years, they're going to have to kind of come up with a plan to staff more or, do something so that the park doesn't get too trashy, kind of in that, I have pun intended, trash, like overflowing from trash cans. But, and remember I had talked about too, what was it over by, why is this slipping my mind? The very first hike that's so popular, which is the falls. Why it starts with an L. You guys will be saying it in the comments. Anyway, that one was crazy. There were so many people like parking and destroying the road and like parking in places they shouldn't. It was just really messing up that whole area. I keep wanting to say Linville Falls, not Linville. It's Laurel Falls. Laurel Falls is what it is. Yeah. So anyway, I bet you could Google it, Kentucky Girl, or maybe if Smoky Mountain Hiker shows up, you can let us know. Happy New Year, Mr. Mountain. Everyone coming in nice and clear tonight and sounding good. Great. Thank you, Rita. Happy New Year to you as well. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. I've seen some of your comments on Instagram. I'm glad. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Happy New Year and Christmas. Also, thank you for the update. It's kind of crazy because you guys hear me talk about, the internet bandwidth is limited. And then, Santa got my wife a iPad. And so there are more devices in the house now that are using things up. So it's a little bit of a chore before this to go through and really go like device by device, room by room, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. So I'm pleased to hear that it's good. What happened one of the last live streams is I thought I had everything and I went out of the room and one of my kids was playing the Xbox and they're like, oh, that doesn't use the internet. Oh no, it does, because in the background it can download updates for the games and apps. So I try my best. Let's see here. The only sport I like to play is what's for dinner. Right. Well, that's a fun sport. I like that one too. We were playing a fun game at dinner, which is try to come up. Here's a fun thing for you, but try not to Google it. Come up with a meal for every day of the week that starts with the letter of the week. So for example, like I think what we got was meatloaf Monday, Taco Tuesday, wings Wednesday, the next tea I think we didn't have fish Friday, spaghetti Saturday, and you could do like steak Sunday or sausage Sunday or something on the grill. That's a fun game to play, but you obviously could Google, but try to come up and then do that one week. Like have a meal every day of the week that starts with the letter of that day. See what you come up with. A new way to get creative, because most people kind of get in that rut where you cook the same dishes or do the same thing over and over. And actually, if you're on vacation and you need to eat out, and especially if you're doing fast food, you could do it easily with the letters. You could do McDonald's Monday, Taco Bell Tuesday, Wendy's Wednesday. You could go to Fridays for Friday, and on and on. So hello, everyone in the chat. I'm good. Thanks. What was the holidays like, Mr. Mountman? What'd y'all do? So that's a great question. So other than relaxing, we did make it over one day for a few hours to Gatlinburg. And again, I want to put a little disclaimer out there, just to make sure that nobody thinks I'm being rude or anything like that. Because again, I think folks get used to all the channels in the community and what am I trying to say? Not the rituals, why am I losing my words tonight? Just the routine that the different channels go through with, whether it's either meetups or getting together with people. Well, because of my family with all the young kids and stuff like that, a lot of times I'm going over to these places. We're only there for a few hours. I'm with the kids and the family. And so, I don't want anybody to ever think I'm rude if I'm going to an area and not, doing some kind of get together or something. Again, I'm a small channel. It's just a lot of these things are like kind of last minute. And we're like, let's go over there for 4 or 5 hours because it's only 2 hours away and we drive back. And so, and I don't even film a lot of these times. The filming is a double-edged sword because I've mentioned this before when I go with the family. A lot of times I have to do retakes or something doesn't shoot the way I want. So it's a little bit disruptive to an organic, natural family activity. So sometimes if we go somewhere, I'll say, hey, I want to film, and everybody's cool with it. And most people are usually excited. And it also captures that on film for a capsule for a great memory. And I love that. But sometimes the kids might get a little stressed out or frustrated if I'm like, hold on, let's stay here for a minute. Let me shoot this again, or let me do this or that. So, I walk a balance of being balanced and doing that. But anyway, we went to Gatlinburg. We used our Ripley's passes. We played putt-putt, which is outdoors, so it's safe. And then we did buy a little bit of clothes. We've never really gone to that Tanger Outlet Mall, which is right behind the putt-putt for Old McDonald's. I'm familiar with Tanger. We had them when we lived in Florida, and there's actually one here in Asheville. Just hadn't done it. Went to a couple places, picked up a couple things. Like, what did I get? Like this calendar right here. There's the calendar store. Everything was 50% off because it was after, so I got one of these tear off calendars that has the cool pictures for every day of the year. So I can, see a nice picture. So what do we have here today? We've got a snowy mountain in Alaska. So I think that's pretty cool. So I thoroughly enjoyed that day. It was really great. Watched a lot of, Christmas movies on TV with the family. We had nice meals. We had, gotten some ham from like Sam's Club. I think we got 2 of them. So we made one on Christmas and one on New Year's Day. When I show you the pictures, I had cooked out some really nice steaks on Christmas Eve. I hadn't done that. I can't remember the last time I cooked steaks. So I had gotten some like porterhouse or T-bone and some strip. And it started to snow. We had a white Christmas. That was one of the best gifts of all. It was beautiful. And so we got to sled a little bit, or, sledding. What else did we do? Just spent time, just took a beat and took a breath, because it's been go, 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 go. Even though 2020 has been crazy, work and everything happened in the house and just this and this and that. And, it's just been a lot. So just wanted to, just enjoy Christmas and New Year's. So I really enjoyed it. And trying to think if anything else was in there. There were some other things we did here and there, but you know, for the most part, it was just kind of relaxing. You're a Southern man with a Yankee heart. You know, it's funny because I've lived in the South more than I do where my roots are in the Midwest, my life. So, you know, I lived in the Charlotte, North Carolina area for 8 or 9 years, in Florida for about 12 years, and then back here in the mountains, you know, for a few years. So between North Carolina, technically South Carolina at one point, and Florida, back to North Carolina. Yeah, been in here more than the other part of the country. I like that sport a little too much myself, our show. That's about the eating. Yes. I can remember those awful pictures you shared. Oh, you talking about the Steelers, right? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. People don't like not everybody likes my sports teams. Great Smoky Mountains National Park has been closed a lot because of snow, wind, ice, sleet, and such. It changed from day to day. Bad weather has burned them, and they close quickly nowadays before it. That's interesting, Foxy. I know this stuff is probably real time online. You can find out the status just like you can the Blue Ridge Parkway. And so I'm surprised that they have been so quick to close, because I thought, especially, see, when you leave Gatlinburg and you're in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, you're only at about 1,000-foot elevation. So it's not like going up to Klingman's Dome or something where you start getting up, you know, thousands of feet. And so, yes, it was Laurel Falls, excuse me. Hello, Nyoka Smith. Welcome, and I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice new year. They really need more porta potties throughout the park. That's an excellent idea. They do. And then, you know, porta potties at first, people, oh, no, I don't want a porta. But the thing about a porta potty or a porta john is, because they have those companies that service them, you know, and they can be cleaned. That actually, and they're a little more sophisticated now. Some have sinks that you can use your foot and stuff. Listen, I mean, is it ideal? No. Is it a great idea? Yes, because anything would be more sanitary than having 3 toilets for a park that has 400 people, you know, cooking out, eating, you know, needing to go to the bathroom and all that stuff. So, yes, it's a good idea. I'm in the 70s every day. My house is open. Only had a couple of days of cold, then hot. They do not have the manpower to clean them and keep them up, so I do not see that happen. Yeah, it would have to be, again, like a third-party company that they would pay for. Like, I don't know if they have this company over here. I thought it was the funniest thing. There was one porta john company out in California called the Honey Bucket. It was kind of a play off of, you know, like urine and stuff. It was hilarious. But they would have to surely go through a company and not get in the business of servicing themselves. It's an interesting story to keep an eye on, though, like if anything does progress, because again, it's a great thing. It's so popular. National parks, what a beautiful, natural, wonderful thing for families and people and folks of all walks of life to enjoy. But it just gets a little out of hand sometimes. Hey, there's Smoky Mountain Hiker. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man, everyone. Sorry, a little late, tired after my long hike today. Another YouTube channel to check out, Smoky Mountain Hiker. Wonderful hikes and other videos. Hope you're having a great start to your week, a wonderful new year, and it's nice to have you here. North Georgia got some flurries, but not in South Georgia. And, you know, North Georgia, one of the interesting things that I didn't realize, I've made this comment before, you know, the mountains from Appalachia and the Blue Ridge Mountains stretch down into North Georgia. So, you know, for me watching shows like Log Cabin Living and such, a lot of people from like Atlanta area and other, was it Hampton and all those areas up there, they enjoy vacationing in Northern Georgia. Let's see here. I'd be down with Taco Tuesday and Thursday. I was trying to come up with another tea. We've had beautiful hoarfrost here this morning. I hadn't experienced that in many years. Will you educate me on what that is? I mean, I know what a frost is, but I'm not familiar with that exact term. 14 miles. Is that what you did today? Oh, wow. That is pretty spectacular. That's an amazing hike. Let's say went good. More people than I expected those since the holidays are over. Yeah, I wonder, Smoky Mountain Hiker, if that'll dissipate even more, maybe a week from now. Completely understand when you film, it takes you out of the moment. Yeah, and I know you have a family as well. So it's, you know, it's, again, because I do this for a hobby. So what I think is another strategy I might use in 2021 is to take like one of the kids somewhere and do it a little more intimately in film, because it's just a little easier. But that won't preclude me. Many of my videos have been done with the entire family there, and then some are just me, like the one from Tail of the Dragon, which, by the way, I'm thinking in 2 weeks from now I might do like a 2020 wrap up on my channel on this live stream. Just some things I thought were cool, and my favorite video and my least favorite video on my channel, and all that kind of stuff. Ice crystals all over each and every, and all branches and everything. That's really cool. A little sore. Steepest hike I've done in a while. Oh, again, I please rest. I hope you. I hope it was enjoyable at least. Sounds like you really enjoyed yourself with your family, Mr. Mountain. That's cool. It was. I did enjoy, and you know, it's never long enough, you know, the time off, but you know, I certainly enjoyed it. And again, some of the highlights of that weather, that white Christmas we got, which is pretty rare for this far south. So those of you that live up north, it might happen more often than not, but not here. You know, we're still south. I mean, you know, as much as we're a stone's throw from Tennessee or Virginia, and we're in the mountains, we're also a stone's throw from Georgia. And to me, Georgia equals moderate, mild, and hot, as Foxy knows. Now that's South Georgia, but just in general, you're getting into the deep South when you mention the state of Georgia. So because of that, one always has to remember is like, oh, you're at the mountains, you're at elevation, but yeah, it's still the South. So we get these mild winters. So when it snows, usually 2 or 3 days later, it's 50 degrees, and the snow doesn't, the north facing hills and stuff are where the snow will last the longest, because the sun doesn't hit it directly. Because it was kind of interesting. We went to Gatlinburg on the Tuesday after Christmas. So what would that have been? 26, 27, 28, 29th. And that snow happened on the 25th. There was still snow in some places, specifically when we were leaving town. I forget which route we went through that brought us out by Corbin or whatever. But it wasn't 321. It was a new way I went. But anyway, there was a hillside facing, and it was nighttime facing north, and there was a lot of snow left. That was crazy cool. My grands and great grands got to go to the Smokies and play in the snow. They came home with colds. Oh, that's terrible. Awesome that they got to play in the snow. Not so much about getting the colds. I hope they're on the up and up, and maybe it's just a quick one. New year, new place. Hang on Mondays. If you smash the like button, hit that subscribe and notification bell, you'll get a personal invite to get a personal invite to join this great bunch of people here. Yes, there's a Mr. Mountain Man hammer and the thumbs up, and yeah, we got that. That's awesome. Thank you, Foxy Wolf. Appreciate it. They just close the roads, but you can hike in if you want. And I know that's to be true at Klingman's Dome as well, right? Because I've thought about wanting to go to Klingman's Dome in the winter, and I know they close it and you got to hike it, and it's like a few miles or something. Not to go to, I don't know. It looked cool up there. I think you've done it. I think I've even seen videos of you doing it. Even recently, maybe with Will and Don. I can't remember, but anyway, yes. Miss Mountain, no, I meant the awful pictures of all the strewn garbage around. Yeah, sorry. No, it's my confusion, not yours, because I get behind on the comments and then I forget what it connects to. Yeah, and I had forgotten if I put that on the Instagram. I think I did, or maybe I just shared my screen. But yeah, there was one, not only in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Pisgah National Forest was just as bad or worse. There's like that dumpster that's like 6 or 7 feet tall, and it was like overflowing, like I don't know, like when we were leaving Gatlinburg the other week and we were coming out from Sevierville, I went to Food City to get gas, heading out towards I-40, and the garbage can at the gas station was exploding, overflowing. Now, sure, the workers there should have emptied it, you know, blah, 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 whatever. But like, I'm not the kind of person that if it's overflowing, I'm going to be like, well, let me just go ahead and toss my bag of trash on top. I don't know. I'd probably be like, let's stow it and then the next time I see a garbage can, I'll throw it away. But yeah, it kind of, there's such beautiful natural locations. You just don't want. It's just kind of frustrating when you see folks behaving like that. Hey, folks! Hello, Hike with Mike. Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well. Great that you're joining us. Let us know how you're doing down there in Florida. Yes, they will have great memories from the snow. Private companies cannot come into the national parks to service any area government regulations thing. Interesting. Well, how does that work if they have a power outage or a water plumbing? They all in-house, like, I mean, I can't imagine they're like I'm not to, it's just making a conversation. I'm just wondering, there has to be a way to contract, because I know the government contracts all the time, even all the way up to, military and such. If you think of like Northrop Grumman and these people build and contract to the government to build what they need. Now, a little different than the national parks, but I'm just curious if they could. But definitely not my forte. I don't really know. I'm just thinking there has to be some way, either that or they have to, I don't know. They need, tax money to build more bathrooms then so that they can do it, or hire more people to service the 4 toilets that they have and garbage cans. I'm not really sure. Again, I'm not really sure. I'm probably behind the comments, so you guys might already say. We can't stay, but want to tell you thank you for making us all feel like we're part of a family and allowing us to visit you with you weekly. You all have a great week. You as well. You probably already left because I'm a little behind. Thank you for joining, and I hope you have a happy New Year. Some places have got rid of the porta potties because people use them as trash cans, throwing bottles and cans. Yeah. Well, I remember one time I used to go to a lot of NASCAR races, just for various things, and one with my dad. And in the heyday in the early 2000s, I was up in Michigan, and this was the heyday. I mean, sold out stands, 150,000 plus, just super busy. And before the tracks really got into fan hospitality and really made that a focus, this was still when it was the product was offering more, and they didn't really have to do much. And so they'd put a couple porta johns out in these parking lots with all the cars. I remember walking up to one, some guy comes out and he goes, pretty rough sight in there. I don't think you're going to want to go in. And I walked in, and the waist was flush with the top of the toilet seat. I mean, this thing was beyond maximum capacity of what should have been allowed. And it was before the race even started. This was walking into the race. That's crazy. So I guess that's true. They could probably, I was just thinking of some way. It was offered up by, what was it? Nyoka Smith, who had mentioned the porta potties. It sounded like a good idea. Oh, nice idea. Tenderloin Thursday. Love it. That's a good one. So if you take out steak Sunday, you could do tenderloin Thursday. Very good. Turnip greens. You could do turnip greens Thursday. You could do another one. That's a good one. I like the ideas. Hoarfrost is when clouds or moisture freezes to trees and shrubs. Oh, is that just what I think of as frost? Like we had frost on the roof this morning, and it gets on the grass as well. Or is there a difference specifically with that? Okay, a lot of people mistake hoarfrost as snow, like today on the trail I was on. Okay, yeah, a lot of the places I grew up, especially like in Ohio, that you definitely would get that frost that if you looked at an angle, it looked like it snowed, but it was just frost. It was a great hike. Well worth the views were perfect. Mount Camerer. Is that how you pronounce it? Camerer? Hey, story has it. Evening, everyone. Evening to you as well. Hope you're having a great start to your week, a nice Monday, and a happy New Year. Thank you for joining us. Let us know how you're doing. Let me try to catch up here. A lot of howdy. Everybody's howdy. I just looked that up. Beautiful area. Oops, it jumps around here. Lots of folks up in the mountains are having problems getting in and out of the steep roads in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg around Christmas. Yeah. You know, that's the thing about the snow. You know, I mean, especially in some of these, even in the area I live, you know, you get into those steep roads, you know, the snow plows aren't necessarily going up there. You got to wait till it melts or deal with it yourself. So, you know, mountain living, even though we're in 2021, can still be um, kind of you know, old school, and you got to manage that. So I definitely get that. And I was kind of upset in a funny way. Gatlinburg got so much more snow than we did. Now, for those of you that aren't near the mountains or don't know geographically where I am compared to Gatlinburg, we're 2 hours from Gatlinburg, about 100 miles due east, southeast, really. But we're in the same mountain range. And it's weird because I'm at a higher elevation than Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. And on as far as the almanac goes, we're supposed to get more average snow and colder temps. But as of the last 2 years, that's not the case. Gatlinburg has gotten a bunch of snows. We haven't gotten hardly anything. The high elevations I'm excluding. You go up to Mount Mitchell, Mount Pisgah, you know, you're going to get snow up there, but that's 5,000-6,000 feet. But man, did they get a bunch. It just stalled out at the mountains. It literally hit the west side of the mountains, which is East Tennessee, and just stalled and then started going kind of north. So if Asheville's over here and Gatlinburg, you know, Gatlinburg's here, you know, the snow kind of went through Gatlinburg. And then when it hit the mountains, it just kind of went like this. Now, we did get snow, and I was very pleased, but we just didn't get as much. You can hike it or bicycle to Klingman's Dome, but if you bicycle, you'll have to leave the bicycle in the parking lot. Oh, okay. Probably has to be like an off-road bicycle, right? National Park Service takes care of the areas in the national parks. Okay. By the way, if you guys ever, okay, so you remember the fires that happened in 2016? I think a year after that, I was, you know, if you dig around on the internet, you can find some really interesting stuff beyond the basic news articles. And I found like some of the official reports and stuff of like the National Park Service, NPS, and you know, kind of what happened. And you know how there are like forums and like for all kinds of niche areas and jobs, like you know, maybe electricians and plumbers and engineers and doctors and you know, psychology and whatever, it doesn't matter. And all the people that know about that stuff, video games, whatever, hiking, they know about it and they comment intelligently because they're well versed in that. Well, it also led me to some like commenting in forums or something from like forest firefighters and all this stuff. But it was a kind of a crazy series of events. Of course, everybody knows the wind kicked up, the hurricane winds, the fires had started, but basically they had it in a situation where they had it somewhat managed. And I forget if I'm going to mess a lot of this up because it's been like 3 years since I read it, but I was reading all this like long documentation on the output reports. And like, I think the National Park Service wanted what are called like fire jumpers, I think are what they're called. They're like the SWAT team of firefighters, but they're really expensive and they come in from California and they can, you know, dig trenches to burn fuel in the right way to manage the fire. And then could have gotten it managed more, but the request was denied. And then you had this series of events, you know, they kept pleading for it. And then you had this series of events where the wind kicked up and then it just got way out of control and all this stuff. But from what I read, it sounded like, and again, this wasn't the Knoxville News or something. This was a much longer thing. I spent a few hours one night reading it, that it was like, it was something that could have been potentially managed a little better from the get-go. But unfortunately, a series of events that, and then unfortunate events led to that terrible outcome. So there's a little bit of a tangent for you. It just reminded me when Foxy Wolf put National Park Service, because I remember reading NPS, all this stuff. I think I bookmarked that stuff at one point, but I don't know where it is now. But isn't the Great Smoky Mountains National Park the only free entrance national park? That is a good question, because I believe, what is it, number 1 or 2 is Yosemite, and I think that has an entrance. Every time I read that, I forget the answer to that. I think you are right. A little freezing up on the screen, on and off. Is that me? Am I freezing? Let me know. Give me a report. I appreciate it. There are a few more free ones, but not as well known. Your imitation of that guy. Oh, the guy coming out of the portage, John. It was funny because we were at that race. He comes out. It's pretty rough in there. I don't think you're going to want to go in there. But I had to go to the bathroom. And so there I am. I mean, it was in the middle. Whatever. That was. But then later, the tracks got much more when the fan attendance started to drop off and the financial crisis and all that. Things changed greatly at the NASCAR tracks. And I'm probably a lot of sports venue. It became much more fan focused. Instead of the traffic used to be atrocious after NASCAR races. You would sit for hours. That's why you tailgated. I mean, you still could do it for fun, but they didn't pay anybody. They didn't care about managing the traffic. It was just kind of like, well, good luck. Later, they did such better with traffic and planning and parking engineering, if you can call it that. The service all around the track, the venue, the bathrooms, everything just got an uptick after about 2009, 10, 11. So it was a much different experience. Some of the last races I went to down in Daytona, that track, I had gone to the Daytona 500 several times. That was a very nice track, and the upgrades they had made and stuff. Hoarfrost is more crystals and sparkly than your regular frost. Okay, buffering. Sorry, I hope nothing important got missed. I went to a park in Clearwater that had an elevated porta potty, so the waste fell 10 feet down. It cut down on the smelliness big time. Is that like one of those, like, you see these people living off the grid that have those compost toilets and stuff like that? That's interesting. That's a good idea. Yes, and Happy New Year to you as well. Wish could add a photo here, show you hoarfrost. Yes, it's a lot thicker than your ordinary frost. You know what? We are going to bring something up here if I don't slow down this this live stream too much. And let's go with, yeah, it does look like snow. Here we go. Hold on, give me 1 second. Open image in a new tab. Bingo. And share the screen, and here we go. There you go. That's hoarfrost, according to Google. And so, yeah, it definitely looks like snow. Very thick. That's pretty cool. And yeah, if you didn't know any better, you'd be like, it snowed. But you can kind of tell there that's more like icy frost right there. So yeah, it's pretty neat. I learned something today. Seen it, never knew that was the correct term. So that's pretty cool. Thank you for suggesting that, Smoky Mountain Hiker. Please remember to hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that. That's very nice, AZ Rock. We got the other Rathbone here. Sarah Rathbone, good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Good evening to you as well. Happy New Year. Hope you had a wonderful holiday, Christmas, New Year, and thank you for joining us this evening. Let us know how you're doing. Yeah, you got 2 to 3 inches of snow. You know, it's funny because I remember you all tell me the kind of the location you were in. We drove out that way. We always like to go through like Canton, Candler, and out that way to get to 40 when we go over to Gatlinburg. And Canton itself is at a little bit of a higher elevation just downtown than Asheville is. And so it's also a little bit more west. So I figured you guys probably got a little bit more. We got a couple inches as well. I don't think we got 3 inches, but we got a couple inches. Hey, we got Blondie's Adventures here. Hi, Mr. Mountain Man. Hello to you. Happy New Year. Hope you're feeling better. I believe I did read in some of the chats you've been in, the live streams, that you were, and very positive news, and glad to hear that. And again, Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And holiday. Well, it can be any bicycle being on the road, but a 10 speed or with any gears would be better than one without. Yeah, I don't know how you do those hills. I am super impressed by, when I go, I think I mentioned to those of you that have been coming to live stream a bunch, when I did the Mount Mitchell motorcycle ride, there are people on bicycles riding up to Mount Mitchell. That is incredible. And I'm not talking about parking at the entrance to Mount Mitchell State Park and then riding their bicycle up, which on its own would be impressive. I'm talking like coming from Asheville up there. That is nuts. People should get some kind of badge for that. That is super cool. And you have to be incredibly conditioned, I'd imagine, to do that. We got a light dusting of snow on Christmas Eve, gone later on Christmas Day. Yeah. At least something happened, you know. It was nice that you were able to get a white, at least a white Christmas Eve. Oh, and Christmas if it was gone, at least, or it was there on Christmas morning. Hey, Faye, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Happy New Year to you. I hope everything is going well down your way. I don't imagine you got a white Christmas unless you turn the air conditioning to like 25 degrees or something like that. But I hope you had a wonderful holiday. It's nice to see you. I'm feeling better. Thank you, everyone. That is great news. That is good news. You're doing good and clear for me. Thank you for that report. I appreciate it. I remember that bathroom story. Yeah, Faye. Yeah, I'm sure I had told it to Faye in the past, and it's a lot different experience these days at the races than it was back in the early 2000s. Yes, glad you are better. Glad you are feeling better. Traffic is still horrendous at the Daytona track. So I knew some back roads there that were not the normal way to go through town. And so I was always able to navigate the traffic without an issue. The problem is for the mainstream folks at the track that wanted to go straight to I-4 or straight to I-95 or one of the main outlets right out ISB. They that was awful. And so there were ways. You just had to kind of know. YouTube threw me off. I just had to reconnect. Okay. Love you all for the well wishes and glad you are feeling better. We have Cuyahoga Valley National Park, a little south of Cleveland. It's free to drive and drive around and hike. Not near what the Smokies are, a lot smaller. And you know, that's a good point that Larry makes. And in general is that, you know, there's always Disney World, and making an analogy, and there's always Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Yosemite. But then, you know, you have your little regional places too, your fairs, your zoos, your smaller parks, and the same thing with the state parks, your local parks. You know, there's a lot of nature to see. I showed you all about 6 months ago a book I had picked up, interestingly enough, from the library. Maybe it was more like a year ago. And there is so much out there beyond what you see with the naked eye or just hear on these types of shows. We always talk about the big things. There are hiking books for the mountains here that you could do one every day and you wouldn't get them done ever. I mean, there are so many hikes, so many waterfalls, so many trails, you know, and that's just in this area. It doesn't matter what state you're in, hills, woods. There's so much neat places to go and neat things to see. Yes, compost toilets. Well, maybe that's what they need to do at the park. I wish you could see the whole track at once there. Oh, at Daytona. So I'll tell you, Foxy, for those of you that are NASCAR fans, I've been to several tracks. I've also been to Bristol, and I honestly did not care for Bristol. Bristol, Tennessee is pretty cool on television, but when you go there, the track is so small that it's like a conveyor belt, and the cars move so quickly when you're live. So when TV's shooting it, they shoot the car and they keep focus on it, and you see those little battles. But when you're a fan, if you look down and you picked up your drink and drink it, or your food, or you just talk and turn to your buddy or something like that, and you look back, you don't know where your driver is, and it takes you, where's my guy? Now, the opposite end of that spectrum is a place like Daytona or Pocono. I've been to Pocono too. This is where these cars get in packs, and it's like 40 seconds later, they all come by. So I found that the happy medium was places like Darlington. I really liked Darlington a lot. Michigan was 2 miles, but they would get spread out after a while, and you could find your driver. So yeah, there was something for everybody. And one track, if any of you guys like NASCAR, that I found that was way better than TV ever did it justice for, was Martinsville. That is incredible. It looks pretty, can be boring on TV, but the way they gear those cars, that when they came out of that corner and smashed the gas, you almost get like a little bit of NHRA drag race down the strip because they're the way they're geared. I probably bored a lot of you with that, but I still like my NASCAR. Let's see. Beautiful frost. That was pretty. Yes. Yes, with the hoarfrost. I'm sorry I missed some of your live streams, Mr. Mountain. I have my ups and downs with the McNasty, feeling much better. Nobody ever has to apologize or even make mention if they missed this. There is no commitment to this. And I want people to feel like that, by the way. If you're a regular and you're like, oh, if I don't show up, or if you're a moderator, you guys do whatever, if you're relaxing on a Monday, you got something else going on, you just enjoy. You do whatever you want to do. If there's another live stream going at the same time as mine and it's more fun, just please enjoy. Just obviously, I don't even need to say this stuff. It's the obvious, but I just want to make sure folks feel like that, please do what you all enjoy. And if it happens to be here having a chat with us, that is a bonus to have you all here. We really enjoy our virtual fireside chat, Mr. Mountain Man Monday. We had Rime Frost here in Southern Indiana this morning. Oh, goodness. Kentucky girl, now you're throwing me for another loop. I already learned what hoarfrost is. Now Rime Frost. We need like the Jeopardy categories, winter frosty conditions, winter frost for 800, like this is crazy. Like here's another one. So now please educate me on Rime Frost. And what degree that is in comparison to hoarfrost. Yes, glad you're better. Never heard of that kind of frost. What makes it different? Yes. Did you get a chance to watch Forks Over Knives over the holidays? I did not. I have not forgotten. I looked. I have it still in my Netflix saved. It's not called a queue anymore. Or if it's in my my Netflix saved to my list. So we watched a lot of holiday movies. Be honest with you, we watch a lot of the Hallmark movies. Like my family loves those, and they tend to kind of be easy, easy to watch. And so a lot of those are on in the background. I may not sit and watch a whole thing, but it was a lot of easy holiday watching stuff. And then of course all the classics like A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation. Of course, Snoopy, Christmas comes along, all that fun stuff. Let's see what else is going on here. I don't know how they do that either. I find hiking easier than bicycling. Yes. And again, those people who buy those stickers that say, I rode mine to Mount Mitchell, and I don't think they're talking about motorcycles, they're talking about bicycle. High praise to those folks. No white Christmas. It actually was hot. And that doesn't surprise me. I remember some years in Florida, 80 degrees on Christmas Day. I believe Rime Frost and hoarfrost are very similar. Okay. We saw a lot of bicyclers on the way up to Mount Mitchell, and I thought it was crazy. I would have made it in my younger fit days. Yeah, I consider myself somewhat fit. I'm more on the bodybuilding side, so I'm not conditioned to be a bicycler. The only white Christmas I had was sand. That's right. Yeah, like I said, you can squint your eyes. I used to love it in Florida if it would get down at night to like 45 on Christmas. I just thought that was awesome. I mean, I would purposely go outside with like shorts and a t-shirt just to feel like it was cold. Nashville had the tough last year, first tornado, COVID, and then the bombing. I know, prayers for this year. Definitely. That bombing that happened, that was awful. And just everything there in Nashville. Yeah. So it has been a rough 2020. I hope that, again, folks are, 2021 is going to be a better year for everyone. It should have been on Netflix because I had it saved. Now, once in a while, Netflix pulls a title, and once they pull the title, then it won't be in your list anymore. However, I have found that if I really want to watch something, I go to Amazon Prime, and it's like $2.99 to watch. So I don't mind spending it because, if you used to rent stuff or go to the Redbox or the old video stores, I mean, $3. At first I was like, I'm not paying unless it's not out of principle. I was just like, I already pay for all these services. Why am I going to pay for something? But then I'm like, it's $3. If you want to watch it, just go ahead and pay for it. So, oh yeah, went to the beach on New Year's Day. I think I saw a picture. Did you have like a Star Wars thing? Not like a event, but like something on the beach. Maybe I'm mixing pictures. Yes, prayers for Nashville, prayers for everyone this year. Sounds like a beach day or something. Yes. They say it's on Netflix, but I got a copy from my local public library. Oh, okay, even better. I'm telling you, another underrated place. Used to be big back in the day, but the public library. I mean, free books and music and all kinds of stuff. And events if you have kids and stuff. And for the community, adults as well. Definitely a beach day. Try the library. Try Amazon Prime. I so love the video you did at the Chimney Rock and the hike up to the falls. Last Mohican's Place. It was awesome. So I love that video. In those that know me here, I think a few people have watched the movie since that had never seen it. I absolutely love that movie. One of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. A lot of it was filmed in the Chimney Rock area. I was fortunate enough to have the memories of the original trails before the state bought the park, and some pictures that are at the end of that video. And I appreciate the positive feedback. These are some of my favorite videos personally. And I love that area of North Carolina and just going to Chimney Rock. Just a wonderful, wonderful place. I will say Chimney Rock has never suffered from the overpopulation or the problems with the bathrooms and stuff that I have experienced. If you all have, you could let me know. It doesn't seem, because it's a paid entrance, you know, and I forget how much it costs. Like, I think maybe per person or family, it's like roughly $20, but we get the annual or season passes. They're not that expensive. But I look forward to going back to Chimney Rock. I haven't really done many hikes there in the pure winter, like when all the trees are brown. So I think the next hike I want to do there is the one. So Smoky Mountain hiker, you're going to appreciate this, and everybody else. There is a hike there that is not, it's all stairs up to the rock. And I've done it before. If I do a video of that, be prepared. All you're going to hear is, and so this is another going up this day. This is Mr. Mountain Man. It's going to be like that. So I want to do the hike. I don't know how spectacular it'll be. I've done it before. The other way to do it is you just go straight up the elevator and you get up and then you start all the other trails up top. So yes, thank you for the feedback. Love the Chimney Rock videos. I love them. The toilets at some of the shelters in the Smokies are compost shelters. Oh, okay. Yeah. So maybe all they need to do is expand those facilities and have more of them. I am doing the protocol for, Kentucky Girl. I know another thing I did for Forks Over Knives. I was reading about it, about going plant-based diet. Yes. And of course, Forks Over Knives. Plant-based diet is big deal, especially with a lot of people like in Hollywood that I've noticed, specifically probably because they have their own chefs and they can do a lot of stuff, but a lot of people are moving away from meat. And, you know, maybe you'll have meat once a week or once a month or never. And so it is interesting. It is interesting. I don't like most of the national parks. They've become too touristy and traffic. It's hard to get serenity vibe at the popular ones. So I find little known preserves have lots of serenity. So to dovetail off of what Hike with Mike is saying right here, you're absolutely right. It kind of goes into what I was talking about earlier, a little bit of the cliche off the beaten path. Now, I'm not talking about dangerously off the beaten path, but if you get one of those hiking books or one of those trail books and you don't go to the, you know, let's say chapter 1 popular places. So that would be your Clingman's Dome, your Laurel Falls, you know, all the, you know, the Cades Cove, you know, all the places. But if you get out of there, or you know what? I mean, what is Mr. Mountain Man? What am I always putting on everything? WNC, Western North Carolina. This is a much more, I would say, serene, you know, and that's having those serenity vibes and less densely populated and more spread out. I'm not talking about downtown Asheville and things like, I'm talking about when it comes to the mountains and the hikes and the areas. There are a few hot spots, as I mentioned, Pisgah National Forest, that one road where I'd shown the trash cans. So there are some popular areas like that, but there are some spread out areas, and, you know, some of the Blue Ridge Parkway stops, you'll see this little trail that runs off, and there won't be hardly anybody there, but it's a trail. I went to this really cool place a couple summers ago before I did the videos called is it called Skinny Dip Falls, I think is what it's called. You basically have to take like this half-mile hike, and then all of a sudden you're at this oasis with these beautiful rocks, and you can jump off. It's a little bit dangerous, I'd say, but the water was super clear. You're at a high elevation. It's almost up near Mount Pisgah or going up that way. That was pretty cool. That'd be cool to do a video. But yeah, that was a pretty cool place. So I get what you're saying, Hike with Mike. Let's see. Seen this been years worse than normal traffic at our state parks in the Smokies. Made it here, Hike with Mike. Yeah, I rack a lot of that up to cabin fever. No pun intended, but just people being inside. They rediscovered the outdoor adventures because as a safer way to get out of the house. I actually started this last year, January 6th, and got a little rough to keep it up with the lockdown. Everybody here actually started. Oh, the plant-based diet. Yes. And that is cool. Let us know, how it's going for you. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Blondie. That's very kind of you to say if you guys do enjoy it. Thank you as such. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. I am behind on the comments, and I still got to do my news and notes and housekeeping, and I'm already at an hour. All right, hold on. Hike with Mike. Have you hiked that swamp trail second chance hiked? I presumed you have. We had freezing frost here this morning. It caused multi-car pileups on the interstate. Yeah. That's the thing about that, for as pretty as the weather can be, it can be very dangerous, especially when it's ice. I have to tap out on the Hallmark movies. Yeah. So Larry, yeah, I probably am a little bit of an oddball that I do watch them with the family. I find them, listen here. Okay. Here's my philosophy on that. There is so much intense things in life that I get involved with, or work, or, situations and, grown up life and all that kind of stuff, that sometimes some mind numbing, easy TV that's not stressful is kind of like the yin to the yang. So that's where I kind of find like I can watch them and it does, and I don't mind them. But for the season, and then that's it. But yeah, I know a lot of people are like, yeah, and so they are cheesy, but it's easy watching. Just heard of freezing fog. I had to look that one up. Deer hunting season, before turkey hunting season, getting out there. Freezing fog, not frost. Oh, okay, yeah, which makes the visibility non-existent. As long as I stick to it, I feel a lot better, and even had some improvement in health condition. That's a positive. That's super cool. And Kentucky Girl, I think if I recall, you have a channel as well. That's something I apologize. I haven't seen in a while what you put on, but if you, the food arena is another popular, genre. So recipes and things of that nature. I don't know if you're into that. Yes. Thanks everyone for the prayers. Yeah. For Nashville. I use an ice scraper to clean my windshield a lot of times in winter in Florida, particularly this time of year. I almost had the hair raised on the back of my neck thinking about the noise of ice scrapers like that, I used to have to use those a lot more. Well, when you park outside, you got to use them a lot. So you hunt or you don't want to be out there during hunting season. Heading to bed, says Blondie. Everyone have a blessed night. Much love to you as well. Glad to hear you're doing better, and Happy New Year, Blondie. Shout out to Traveling Hoosier if he's in earshot and you are still around. Nope, I'm a hiker. No problems with hunting. I try not to hike during hunting season. I don't want to disturb somebody's hunting chance, and I don't want to get mistakenly shot. Yeah, Mike, you can be like, hey guys, are you hiking over there? Shh, stop it, man. Be quiet. We're trying to hunt this deer. Throw it. Oh yeah. Rug across your windshield. Hold in place with wiper blades. You don't have to scrape. That's a great suggestion. Then the moisture can't sit on it. Let's see. Thanks for the tip, because I need to do that. I'm usually running late in the morning. I don't have time to spend 5 or 10 minutes. Yes. Has anyone hiked Sam's Gap, part of the Appalachian Trail in WNC? I have not. Let us know if you have. Everyone, please have a wonderful, safe week. Good night and a good one. Sleep tight. See y'all later. Sending love and sweet dreams always and forever. And Happy New Year to you. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful week. Smoky Mountain Hiker has been to that area, but I got into videos, or it was before he got into videos or pictures, just as a kid. Yeah, a lot of stuff to do on this side of the fence in Western North Carolina. Let's see here. That area is named after my family, Sam's. I visited Sam's Gap in 2017. It's beautiful and fairly high elevation, if I remember correctly. I just love going to the high elevation all points of the year. You get snow in the winter and you get unusually cold days in the summer. It's one of my favorite parts about living in the mountains. Oh, by the way, Christmas Eve, family was out. We knew the rain was going to turn to snow. It was already snowing over in Gatlinburg. I'd seen the live streams from like Will and Dawn. They were live streaming Christmas Eve and it was snowing. But we're just, again, 100 miles away east. I'm looking in the car at the temperature thermometer. It says 53 degrees or something like that. And pouring rain. Had it been colder, it would have dropped, we would have had a ton of snow. And we were driving up a mountain, maybe going up about 500 feet or something like that. And the temperature dropped like 10 degrees in like 10 minutes. It happened so fast. And then that evening, the snow came in. It was crazy once that weather front came through, how quickly it snowed. Hubby calls Hallmark movies chick flicks. They are chick flicks. But I'm a tough guy, so I can say, whatever. But they're I don't know. My wife started watching them years ago and I would watch one occasionally and I'm like, all right, so, it's part of Christmas. I do plenty of my, Last of the Mohicans, Top Gun, Avengers, Apollo 13, Tombstone, all that kind of stuff. Jack Ryan, 24, I don't know. I have a balance. I plan to visit Sam's Gap next time I come to the Smokies. Oh, Faye says I'm the same with my mindless TV, like The Bachelorette and The Bachelor. I know people get super into that and absolutely love it. I have never gotten it. TV is one of those things you got to be careful because you start watching a show, you're like, and you're hooked and you got to watch it. And so, yeah. Let's see. Let me see if I can get caught up so I can get to like our housekeeping. That's what I call them. Most of them have a woman going back to save her hometown Christmas and runs into her old high school boyfriend, a cute handyman. It is true. And by the way, all of them, all the people, they're either in marketing or accounting or they work at a law firm. They all have the exact same jobs. It's pretty much the same pedigree of a story. You can almost play like games watching it because you can figure out the story. Every once in a while, they do one a little bit differently. But yeah, it's just this same formula. This plus this equals this, and they just switch the characters out. Yes. They're the movies that usually women like, but men hate. The women are all wearing bonnets like Jane Austen and such. Be very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits. There's a shout out to the Looney Tunes and Bugs. No, that wasn't Bugs Bunny. That was who was the guy? What's his name? Yosemite Sam? Is that it? I forget. Oh man, Chad's heading out for the night. Good night, Mr. Mountain. All have a great week, everyone. You too, and a happy New Year. By the way, speaking of Christmas movies, that Dolly Parton movie was on NBC about Christmas of Many Colors or something like that. It was basically a docu drama about her life growing up and her father. Most people know how meager her beginnings and poor, but it was it was a great movie. Christmas of Many Colors, I think it was called. Dolly Parton's Christmas of Many Colors. Anyways, that was not Hallmark. That was NBC. That was a pretty good movie. I had never seen that. It's like 4 years old, but it was pretty good. Scrolling. Oh, we got Camping Theory heading in here. Hello, everyone. Chat, Mr. Mountain. Hello to you. Happy New Year, and hope you're having a wonderful start to your year. I'm getting caught up. I'm getting closer. Let's see. Yeah, I just watched YouTube and we got rid of cable years ago. You know, again, sports and some other stuff. And I mentioned before, I I finagle with those people. You call them up, and there's such a threat of cutting the ties that you don't even have to threaten anymore. You're just like, my bill's too high. I don't really get out of it as much as I pay. I really need a discount, and they basically give you a discount. Now you do have to call in every year or two and keep getting that discount renewed. It's not permanent, but it's not so bad. Yeah, you don't have TV either. I kind of have it all. I don't get to indulge in it that much. I think that's why I enjoyed Christmas break so much, because it had been a while since I was able to kick the feet up. I mean, you all hear me. I will carve out time to watch the Steelers or the Buckeyes or something like that. But I don't always get to, just watch television shows. Elmer Fudd. Yes. Okay. Thank you about Elmer Fudd. I have an Nintendo TV and Roku. That's a very modern combination. And yes, Coat of Many Colors, that the Christmas movie. Yes. Because she had that, as a little girl, she had that coat that had the many colors. It looked like a quilt, basically stitched together. I saw where Dolly was filming another movie in Dollywood yesterday. Interesting, because speaking of the Hallmark movies, last year there was one that had Danica McKellar in it. Danica McKellar was in the show when I was growing up called The Wonder Years. Her name was Winnie. So any of you around my age who had watched that show, she's one of these, recycled, I hate to use that word, but recycled actresses or actors that have ended up in these movies. There's other folks like Candace Cameron from Full House and some others. I'd rather be outside hiking than watching TV. Yes, I don't blame you. I like a good balance. If you're sitting in front of a computer or inside, it's much nicer to get out and stretch feet. I binged season 3 of Cobra Kai yesterday. First TV I've watched in a while. Please don't say anything. I love that show. I have not been able to watch it yet. Don't even say it's good or bad, or I didn't like this or I didn't like that. I love that show. I was a big Karate Kid fan, so I'm excited. Don't spoil it, please. It's just me, so antenna and Roku is plenty. Yes, and Roku is super awesome. Hey, Todd. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man, everyone. Happy New Year to you, and I hope I have a great start to your week. There's Kentucky Girls YouTube right there. Hey, one little hint for you all that are trying at YouTube. You see that URL there? The reason that it's all goobly gop at the end, but now actually I haven't checked on Kentucky Girl in a while, but a lot of people don't know this, but once you get 100 subscribers, you can set your URL. It's like a perk, kind of like when you get 1,000, you can do live streams on mobile. So once you get 100 subscribers, you can then make yours. So if you notice mine, it's youtube.com/, you don't need the channel part, Mr. Mountain Man, the Eclectic Handyman. So, and if it happened to be used, you could just add a character or something like that. But once you get 100 subscribers, you can get your URL so it doesn't look like, that's basically the user ID right there. So yeah. On a live chat, Blondie had a Christmas ornament of Dolly's Coat of Many Colors. That's super cool. When you have to miss a week, we wear you out with your conversation, right? Well, I love it. I was looking forward to tonight. Yeah. So yes, Danica filmed in Dollywood in 2018. Pretty cool. I'm telling you, I'm like a well-versed person, right? Like I got a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas. Hard to pigeonhole. Hint, I actually, so the channel name Eclectic Handyman, eclectic is me in real life. I don't fit a mold very well. Like, and Story Has It is here. I'll tell a little story about using the word story too many times, but Story Has It is a bowler. So there's a lot of things I do and enjoy, but I don't do them exclusively. For example, like when I used to bowl on bowling leagues, a lot of the people I bowled with, that's all they did. I mean, they bowled, they talked about bowling. They went to Reno and bowled in the Nationals. They bowled. That's all they did. They didn't care about anything else. They bowled. I do bodybuilding. I go to the gym 5 days a week. I try to. I take it really seriously. I work really hard at it. But a lot of the guys and gals at the gym, that's all they do. They don't do anything else. They don't talk about anything else. Motorcycles could be the same way. They only do motorcycles and that's all. And Mustangs or you know, or computers, electronics, or, whatever it might be. I'm kind of into a lot of things. Now, that's a plus and a minus. I'm into YouTube. I do this. Um, the problem is that I'm so eclectic that I tend not to always align with people because I'm all over the place. Like, but I mean, that's not a bad thing. Someone might say I have a lot of hobbies. I don't know if they're all necessarily hobbies or not, or interests, but I am very eclectic. And then the tools, and then doing all that stuff. So, I don't fit a mold that well. So, I usually don't, it's like everywhere I go, I'm like way different. Like I'll be with this group and I work out. I don't work out. Or I'm with this group and I'm like, oh, I love steel. I don't watch sports. Or I'm with this group and I'm like, oh, I love motorcycles. I wouldn't ride one of those. They're dangerous. It, so I don't seem to, or when I was bowling, like, be bowling and I do this and I don't do anything else but bowling. So, yeah, kind of like eclectic. So that's where the eclectic handyman is actually only meaning in that channel, because there's eclectic things. I don't do one kind of thing, but I think eclectic is a really great word to describe myself in general, because I don't typically fit a mold. I mean, look at it. I was just talking about Hallmark movies. I mean, I'm just all over the place a lot. I just tend to kind of float to a lot of different things. But yeah, how do you change the URL, Mr. Mountman? So you got to dig for it a little bit. You go into settings under your account, and then there's somewhere, I don't remember the exact menus. I'm sorry. If you Google it, you'll probably figure it out. But it's like, there's like channel settings or something like that. And you go in, there's a bunch of boxes, and it tells you, are you verified? Are you 1,000 subscribers? Are you monetized? Are you this? Are you that? Blah, blah, blah. And then one of them's like, once you hit 100 subscribers, you can do the URL, and you click on it. It gives you a box and you can change it. Worked out good for me last week. I was on the road coming home from Memphis. There is a Dolly movie called Christmas in Many Colors too. Smoky Mountain Hiker, that's the one I was talking about. It was on NBC about a week ago, ish, I think. It was made in 2016, and unfortunately, when I had seen it on the television, it was already like 45 minutes into it, so we missed the beginning, but we got the gist of it. And I had known about her. I had known about her background, but I had not seen that movie before. Bowling, The Dude Abides. That, I believe, is a reference to The Big Lebowski. Correct me if I am wrong. That's another great movie I haven't seen in a long, long time. By the way, I did mention I loved bowling. I even had my PBA card for a while. Now, that's a cool thing to say. You needed to hold a 200 average in a league, have your league secretary sign off on it, and then you basically paid every month. I think it was like $12 or $14. But I actually, if you looked up in USBC my name, there was a PBA emblem next to it. I could have gone to tournaments and such like that. I never exercised any of that. I still have the PBA book and stuff. I had some accolades. I mean, I've bowled a 300 twice. I have the ring. I showed it on one of these live streams. Some 700 series, 299. I mentioned to those of you in the past, one of the coolest things I ever did was I got the Big Four split. I do have a certificate for that. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Great movie, Mike. Yeah. If that's The Big Lebowski, let me know. Yeah, I didn't know that about that's the movie I was talking about. The movie was the one I was talking about. Yes. Eat and Sleep Bowling. Right. Let's see. My ex-brother-in-law was bodybuilder Tom Platts. Yeah. Tom Platt, was he wasn't in was he, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering here. Was he in Pumping Iron? Was Tom Platts in Pumping Iron? You have to let me know, Todd. I love talking to folks that have a lot of different interests, makes for a better conversation. Right. Well, you met here I am. I tend to be very diverse in that. And yes, thank you, Eclectic Handyman. There you go, the Eclectic Handyman. If we all like the same thing, it would be rather boring. Yes, it would be. It's just sometimes I don't fit a mold very well. So, I don't know. Maybe nobody does. It's just interesting. I wasn't actually in Memphis, just outside there visiting our oldest daughter. Thanks, Mr. Mountain. Yep. Hopefully that works. You'll find it. If you don't, Google it. It's not hard to find. A bowling meetup one day. That'd be pretty cool. Believe it or not, I have not bowled in a while. So I did bowling for years. I think so. I did bowling in high school. Then I putzed around it a little bit in college. Did some just open bowling for a while. Then I got back into it and was running leagues on and off from 2000 until 2017. And I haven't bowled in a few years. It's a time commitment. It's another time commitment. And because I've put more of that effort recently into bodybuilding, because the gym is not a 20-minute venture, it has unfortunately stuffed out bowling. Oh, by the way, this has nothing to do with the comment. The answer could be, yeah, maybe someday we could all get out and go bowling. I need to get a new ball drilled. I still have my Columbia ball, but it's showing its age. I need to get a new ball drilled. Yes, the Big Lebowski. Hey, Chris, about t-shirts. Good evening, Mr. Mountain, everyone. I can't speak. Good evening, Mr. Mountain Man, and everyone. Good evening to you as well. Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful vacation down south. I enjoyed watching some of your live streams and hope everything is going well for you. And tell Mindy I said hello and a Happy New Year. Yes, they were just asking a question about you, Mr. Mountain Man. You got to show us your 300 ring. I will. I did show it on another live stream, but it's upstairs. I will definitely show it to you. It's red. And so story has it there. This is interesting. I got that ring right before the USB-C stopped doing it where you had to pay for it, or stop doing it where it was free and then you had to pay for it. So for any of you who are bowlers, the way the house lays down oil, the house meaning the bowling alley, is they lay it in favorable patterns for your everyday bowler. Higher scores equal happier bowlers, which equal happier league people, which means more money for the facility. If you ever want to test how good of a bowler you are, go roll a PBA league with PBA oil patterns. I did that once or twice with like the scorpion pattern and all the PBA patterns. Your average will go down like 50 pens. It is incredible how hard and more difficult and surgical rolling on true PBA oil patterns is versus what they put down on a house for league patterns. They roll down Christmas tree cupcake patterns basically so that the ball will hook right into the pocket. It's much more difficult on a PBA pattern. Anyway, long tangent. To that end, where I was going with that is there were so many 300s and so many awards. I think the USB-C, they got to a point where they cut a lot of them out, a lot of the magnets, a lot of the patches they used to do, the rings, the plaques. You started to have to opt in and pay for some of that if you wanted it. Unless they've changed that in the last few years, that's the way it had been probably the last 10 years. And so I got the ring without paying for it. You could pay for an upgrade, but I got the entry level one. And it's pretty cool. Blah, 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 blah. Hopefully Story Has It was here and heard that about the bowling. Otherwise, I just bored everybody. I'm in for a Mr. Mountain Man bowling meetup. You see, someday we will have to do that. If any of you missed my disclaimer earlier, that's not the right phrase, disclaimer. But listen, I just want to remind folks that please don't ever think rudely of me or of my actions or anything like that. Like, again, I think a lot of folks get accustomed to the routines and the practices of a lot of the channels, but mine's a little different with the young family and the active life and stuff. You know, I might go to places and not, make a big public deal about it because I'm not filming or I'm not doing anything in the family and stuff. And I know I don't have to give that caveat, but I just don't want anybody. I know there was somebody on the channel that that was begging me a bunch. When are you going to do a meetup or when are you going to do this or that? But it's so like the way I present myself tonight on this live stream and what actual life, I carve this into the schedule to make sure I have time to do this, but then before and after it, it's go, go, go all the time. And so I just want to make sure that you all know that it's not like it's always like, oh, Mr. Mountain Man was over in Gatlinburg or in Asheville or here or there and didn't, get together with people. I don't want anybody to ever think I'm being rude or shying away. It's just, you know, it's so hectic and busy with the family and my young kids and everything like that. It just, I'm just not in that flexible stage where I can do a lot of that stuff. I hope you all understand. But when there does come a time that that can happen, I will absolutely do my best to do it. There have been times in the past, as you all know, I think Chris is here. Yeah, Chris is here. I've hung out with them before, and Will and Dawn. But, you know, a lot of times I have to plan that stuff ahead, a week or two ahead, and make that stuff happen. So anyway, I just want to let you know. But yes, bowling. I love bowling. She's asking if you're in Memphis. That's a question to Chris. Hey, Loggy Doggy. Happy New Year. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Boy, I'm going long tonight. I got to get over to my housekeeping. Oh, were you down there on Oh, no, not Florida on Black Friday, right? That's back in back at Thanksgiving. Sorry, I'm scrolling. I had won 300 in my bowling life. You know what? That's amazing because my grandfather was big into bowling, and I think his highest score ever was a 289. I think I still have the plaque from it. And my dad never got a 300. So 300, it doesn't matter if it's once, that's once more than a lot of people. Yep, house oil patterns was done in our league. It's amazing. Yeah. You need your privacy, Mr. Mountman. Yeah, it's not necessarily, it's just the hecticness of life. That's all. That's interesting about the bowling oil stuff. I never knew any of that. Yeah. If you ever watch bowling on TV, which most people don't, once a year, they'll have a tournament for the professional bowlers where they use a house pattern. Oh my goodness. Every game's a 300 because those guys ace it. I mean, not legitimately, but there'll be record amounts of 300, 800 series, 850 series because the 3 games, you know, I mean, when they put all these things together, they'll even talk about, I remember one of the professional bowlers he talked about, he said, you know, a lot of people go to their house and they think they're really good. I mean, he wasn't being snide. He was just, you know, a lot of people go to their house and they think they're good, but what they don't realize is they're not bowling on, you know, legitimately difficult professional oil patterns. So yeah. Tom Platz was in Pumping Iron, competed against Schwarzenegger, was also in a few movies, super great guy, stream focused on bodybuilding, still is. That is super cool, Todd. I love that fact. That's really neat. What is this oil pattern stuff we're talking about? So when you bowl at a bowling alley, you know, once you get up to the line, if you've ever fallen and your fingers are gone down and they're all sticky, they put oil with machines on the lanes all the way up until there's a point where they cut off and they stop oiling before the pens. It has to do with how the ball tracks through the wood or on the synthetic lanes through that pattern and how the ball reacts and how it hooks. And there's a lot of, honestly, there's a lot of physics in it. So kind of an interesting thing. They still allow upgrades at your cost on 300 ring. They give you jewelry grade stainless free. Oh, okay. And sterling gold is extra. They didn't even, there was a point there. I could be wrong. I'm 99% sure. There was a point right after. So I got my first ring in 07. There was a point after where I remember because there were just, in our league, every week there was like 2 300s in the men's league. I wouldn't have been able to if I still had younger children. They take lots of time for so much. Well worth it though. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Smoky Mountain Hiker's taking off. Everyone have a great night and a great week. You as well. Happy New Year, Smoky Mountain Hiker. I've never had a 300 and I've averaged over 200. Yes. So, well, there you go. You can get your PBA card. I should show that too. I still have my cards. I just quit after a while because I wasn't doing anything with it. I was paying into it, getting the magazine, and I was a member. And I loved that that emblem was online next to my USB-C, but I didn't. I never took advantage of it because the tournaments at the time were $200 entry. They weren't close to home. Again, I had a young family, and it was like I was like, I can't go spend. I wasn't even like when I ran those PBA oil patterns or the more difficult ones, my average would go down a lot. So, good bowler are you, Chris? Let us know. I used to play a lot more. Okay. Yes, and good night again, Smoky Mountain Hiker. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Much appreciated. I appreciate it as well. Thank you so much. AZ Rock, my dad was really good bowler. His high game was 279, all strikes except for a 9 to spare. Yeah. you start getting, it's weird. You got to have you got to be calm, because what happens is you get strike after strike after strike, and you get into the 10th, and then all your buddies start watching you from behind. Shh, 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 hey, he's going for a 300. She's going for a 300. It starts going through your head. Your hand starts shaking a little bit. I mean, and so I think honestly, sometimes the people who have been there and not gotten there, that they are the ones that, then can get the 300. But man, it stinks when you get to that, that last ball, and like it blows around the 10 or something like that, and you 299. That 9 was probably a heartbreaker for him. Yeah, exactly. Okay, there we go. Finally caught up. All right, housekeeping for the week of January the 4th, 2021. So the first order of housekeeping is there was a new video put out right prior to Christmas, but after my last live stream, for some winter lights at the North Carolina Arboretum. Most of the regular hearers have already seen it. I hope you enjoyed it. I confused some folks because I mentioned in it that it was normally a walkthrough experience and it was a drive-through experience, which was a true statement, but I didn't clarify. The part that I showed in the video would not have been the walkthrough area. The main Arboretum was back basically where that caterpillar was, and that's where the Arboretum starts. The walkthrough of the main Arboretum grounds is where it would have been, and it is spectacular. They, they basically had to take everything that was in the condensed area and spread it out on the entrance into the Arboretum. Did a fantastic job. Kudos to the Arboretum, but I believe it'll be more spectacular next year when you're able to walk through it. I also went back to Lake Julian. I did not post a video because I did a video of it last year. So I have, I think they're both under like Christmas lights playlist or something. Anyway, Christmas might be growing long in the tooth for folks at this point and may not want to watch it. But anyway, wanted to let you know that's one order of housekeeping. Second order of housekeeping. We got last night Dollywood passes. Woo, Dollywood. Yeah. So, we've never had them before. I mean, for those of you that known me for a while or been on this live stream, we were Disney World annual pass holders when we lived in Florida. We enjoy the theme parks. We enjoy the parks. We hadn't done it since we got back here. Dollywood is not quite as close in proximity as Disney World was to us when we lived in Florida. It's about 2 hours from here, but the cost point at which it was, we got the season passes before the sale ended yesterday. I'm going to go over that in a minute in my news and notes because I have some there. And there's a theme tonight in the news and notes with the theme parks, but they were quote unquote the lowest prices of the season, and so we got the whole family the passes, and I'm interested to see. I know many of you visit that park often that are from the area. I've always found some things interesting about Dollywood about how much they borrow from Disney World, which would seem natural, but it's so close to what they borrow, and mostly from Epcot. So Epcot has what's it called? Oh goodness, it slipped my mind. Another thing slipped my mind. It's called the Flower and Garden Festival. Okay. The Flower and Garden Festival is in the spring. Dollywood does almost the exact same thing. And then these are very famous events that have extended much before Dollywood did them. And then they have the Food and Wine Festival in the fall, and Dollywood has one of those as well. And then they have the International Festival that Dollywood has, with all the countries, which is basically the back half of Epcot with all the different world showcase. So it's interesting how much kind of intellectual property of the events has been borrowed at Dollywood from Disney World and Epcot. And I kind of Googled it once, and it's and there's not a lot of articles about it or buzz, which is interesting because they're so almost identical. And it's interesting because as a fan as I am of Dolly Parton as a person in the world and what she does and all the creativity she has, I don't think that's actually would have been necessary. And I know I haven't been to Dollywood yet, but the theming of those events that is so similar to what Disney World does isn't needed. I'm sure herself and her team of creative engineers and staff could have come up with uniquely themed event theming through times of the year that didn't have to closely so align with, the Big Brother down in Florida. Many of you may not know that. You just know the festivals here and didn't know that those exist, but they're almost identical to what's at Epcot at Disney World. And so anyway, no big gripe, just an interesting kind of dialogue about that. But we are excited for Dollywood. They have just closed, so we will not be able to go and make reservations until March. And so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. Let me share a few pictures here over on the Instagram side of the fence, because it has been a couple of weeks since we did chat. Let me take this off so we can see them. That is a payphone. That is like a relic. No, that was not taken at a museum. Do you know how disgusting that thing must be? And I'm not being a germaphobe. I'm just saying, like, picking that thing up must be, I think you could get something nastier, like I mentioned earlier, than COVID touching that telephone. But anyway, that's a thing of the past. I haven't even seen those things anymore. Isn't that nuts? I had mentioned I had visited Lake Julian Park Festival of Lights, which is also awesome here in Asheville. There is a video if you're interested from last year. Then I was going crazy because it started to snow. Finally, I was like, finally, snow. That was a little bit falling. That was just at the beginning. This was on Christmas Eve. And then I tried to write in the snow there for you all. Make sure you guys can still see this. Yeah. That says, Mr. Mountain Man, Merry Christmas. I wrote that with my finger. Was just on cloud 9 at the time. Very happy. Kids were happy. And yeah, we were getting snow. There you go. Grilling out. There's the steaks that were being grilled out for Christmas Eve dinner. I had mentioned that on my last live stream. Those steaks were so good. I really, really enjoyed them. Oh, it looks like I did a couple of pictures there. Oh yeah, there's me. Hey, that's my Ober-Gatlinburg picture hat, by the way. And there's the steak. It was really good. My goodness, that fillet on the top melt in. The fillet melt in your mouth. It was so good. Very, very good. There's a little video of me on Christmas Day wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. Okay, speaking of Hallmark movies, it looked like a Hallmark movie in the mountains. I was taking some pictures of the holly tree with the snow on it. Is that not spectacular? That is pretty cool. I mean, it was cool. There's a deer out in the snow. I love that picture right there. I mean, is that cliche Christmas, holly, snow, mountain? I mean, perfect. It was super cool. Looked amazing. Let's see. Yep. Then we went over to Gatlinburg for a few hours. We played putt-putt, and we went to pick up a couple of winter coats there at the outlets behind. There was a little bit of snow left on the ground. As I mentioned, on the way out of Gatlinburg, again, the north-facing side of the mountains, there was still snow to be seen. That's kind of like a little game that, I always enjoy. It's like, how long can the snow last? I love the snow. In fact, I think if Chris is still here, I have another picture where he mentions he would like the snow again as well. I would too. Look at that picture. Speaking of fog, this is a light that we had in the yard. It's one of those lights that projects, the Christmas lights, but the fog was out one night. This is not like like one of those filtered Instagram pictures. This is just the picture. Looks super cool. And there's the nativity in the yard and it just looked awesome. I thought that was pretty cool. And then, yeah, here was, I said, what a difference a week makes. Up top here was a bunch of icicles and snow, and down here back to a brown winter. So anyway, if you're interested, check out the Instagram account for Mr. Mountain Man and some pretty fun pictures there to check out. Let me get caught up here on the comments. Oh, I forgot to give a little brief shout out to the Eclectic Candyman channel side of the fence. I have posted a video. Oh my goodness, I thought I closed you guys out. Okay, I closed out the others. I closed out the other tab. I have a bunch of videos on that side of the fence, especially with tools and Craftsman tools. I just haven't gotten them all put together and published. But anyway, I just wanted to make mention of that. Let me get over to the comments. I am behind. Smoking, mentioned smoking decades ago. Used to smoke at bowling alleys. I never was a smoker, but man, it was like when I'd be at some of those leagues, the people who chain smoke, it was by the third game, it was crazy, so thick. I personally didn't mind it when you couldn't smoke in the bowling alleys anymore. Yes, congrats on quitting smoking. Growing up, my babysitter was the bowling alley nursery later. I remember his story has that. The lanes I had growing up actually had a nursery. That's how big bowling was back in the day. Now they don't have that. The lights were beautiful. Thank you. And congrats on Dollywood. Thank you. Appreciate it. You know what I didn't realize, Chris? I'm sure you know and well know how many discounts you all get over there in East Tennessee and like Knox County and Sevier County and stuff. If you buy your Dollywood season passes in like December, I think this year I had an article, it's called Stocking Stuffers. The prices are ridiculously low. And then for folks who want to spread it out over a payment plan, I mean, you can literally get your Dollywood pass for, $10, $15 a month, if that, per person, if you live over on that side of the fence. So very good deal. We got the best deal to the general public. We didn't have any kind of discounts or anything like that. Yeah. So I plan to do a video. Is there a saturation of Dollywood videos out there? Yes, there are. Will you get Mr. Mountman's take on Dollywood? Yes, you will. I will do a video probably from there. Again, through my lenses, and again, having been going to, Walt Disney World for many, many moons, it will be interesting, but I'm not going to be comparing it directly. Like the thing I talked about earlier was just about the festivals. I know the difference, and it will not be held to that standard. It's a different thing. It's a regional park. It's not the same thing. But my wife is so over the top excited about those passes. She was giddy yesterday. She wants to see the shows and all the stuff. So, that'll be something fun to do. Yes, I'm going to talk about the passes in a minute, about the cost going up. There was a conversation about the bowling alley. I got to go back to Dollywood with Silver Dollar City. I enjoyed so much. Now it's so much bigger. I can't handle all the walking. Yeah. And I think there's a couple videos about Silver Dollar City and some information online if you're interested, not from me, on YouTube. That's pretty cool. I'm going to talk about this too, Larry. We get the Cedar Point Platinum passes when the kids were younger, got into Cedar Park pairs, couldn't beat it for something to do all summer. That is a great segue. I'm going to catch up on the comments, and you will be seeing about this in a minute. Yeah, flashback childhood on that phone. You remember when, I remember one time playing with the little thing too much when I was a kid and all the quarters came out, and my grandfather was with me, and we went to AT&T basically with this big bag of quarters. I'm like, sorry, here it goes back. Here's your quarters back, because they used to be everywhere. Yeah, you beat me to it. I don't read down in these comments, so it's so funny when I say something, then somebody says something like the same thing. Yeah, check for loose change. Yeah, food on the grill. It was delicious. It was very, very good. A porterhouse, yes, and a big porter. It was so good. My favorite steak. I finally grilled ribeye steaks last week. They were great. Ribeye is awesome. You get the right cut. I didn't used to be a fan of ribeye because of the fat. I'm not talking about from the health perspective. I'm talking about the taste, but I have learned to like the sweetness of that taste and the flavor. It's very, very good. There is something about holly in the snow. I would love to get some more. I want to get some like English holly or American holly plants. The problem we have is with the deer eating hollies. But I want to get some of those really traditional pokey style holly plants and plant some. Let's see. I do love the snow for sure. Touche. I do as well. Snow on the holly was beautiful. I love that picture. I honestly could probably blow it up and make it, a neat picture for the house or something like that. We'll do a good Dollywood video for sure. Probably what I'll do is I will visit the park a time or two and then be able to commentate meditate on it a little bit better. Although that is neat to do it the first time. But as I mentioned, I think it was before you came in, Chris, the non-organic process that becomes family outings when I decide to film can disrupt things. I don't think I would do that to the first time we visit Dollywood. I will let that be pristine and let them do that. Can't wait for your Dollywood video. Yes. Again, they don't open until March. We bought them and they're closed. So, oh, Chris, what's your new tradition? Is it the t-shirts again this year? Are you doing the t-shirts? If you are, that is super cool. And congratulations for all the t-shirts you did last year. Guys, you got to follow Chris on Instagram. It's probably the best. You get to see the shirts that he wore every single day. So you have to go. Good night, everyone. Good night to you, Kentucky girl. Thank you for stopping by, and Happy New Year to you. The fat on the ribeye is the best part. Yes, and it was acquired taste for me. So let me get to the news and notes for the week of January the 4th, 2020. And away we go. Let's get this up and present. Get the banner off of here. All right. First up, theme of the week, we're going to talk some theme parks, entertainment, and fun. The Ripley's Ultimate Fun Pass sale. And by the way, if you're not from the area, you know, so you might be like, well, this news doesn't apply to me, but there'll be other stories, so you can take a look and listen in. This is what we got last year. So some of the videos, I have a Ripley's video. I have the putt-putt pizza in the park. The putt-putt is part of it. I can also say that I went to the Super Fun Zone and played laser tag and had a blast. And I love that. So this is basically the season pass for all of Ripley's. This, in my opinion, is one of the best deals if you're a regular visitor to East Tennessee and Gatlinburg, because these places are so expensive on an individual basis. They are almost not worth it. I remember when we used to go to Gatlinburg and we bought Ripley's tickets for the family for like one time through Ripley's, believe it or not, it was like $80. And like 33 minutes later, we were walking out the exit. I was like, that's a lot of money for a half an hour to 45 minutes. So when you get the season pass and go over and over and over and over, with the gem of it being the aquarium, these are an incredible deal. On sale beginning January 6th at Food City. Get access to Ripley's Aquarium and 7 additional Ripley's attractions in Gatlinburg. Lowest price anywhere. Annual passes, 12 and up, are $99 a piece, a savings of $45. That's amazing savings. You know, a lot of these people tout savings. You're going to see on my next slide. Remember that. $45 off, 45% off, because it ends up being $100. Almost 50% off. Ages 3 to 11 are $54.99, almost $20 in savings. Children passes age 2 are only $20 each, almost $10 in savings. What an incredible deal for all of the places listed on the screen. Here's the thing. I was talking to my wife last night. We're going to have to decide. I really want to buy these again and renew them. They're such a good deal. But now that we bought Dollywood passes, you know, again, we don't live in East Tennessee. It's a 2-hour march over there. So it's a concentrated effort. That's not super far, but I'm wondering now with Dollywood, do we get these passes again, albeit reasonable, or do we let it go? I have a hard time letting it go because, as you've heard me on these live streams, what did we do over Christmas break? We made a quick jaunt over there and we went putt-putting. You show the passes and you're done. I'm going to have a hard time resisting buying these, but part of me says I'm not sure if I should or not. So anyway, you don't have to go too many times to make your money up, but we'll see. So anyway, there's the Ripley's Ultimate Fun Pass sale. Let me see if there's any. It's a new channel format, kind of. I saw a blurb come across that said channel news, but I still am not aware, Chris. I need to be educated on what you're doing differently. Oh, are you broadcasting daily? Is that what I'm sorry, I'm guessing here. You can just tell me. Good day, Mr. Man. Sorry to leave so soon. Be blessed. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Loggy Doggy. Happy New Year, and glad to have you here. I hope you have a wonderful week. Pardon me. I would like a video from you from Anakeesta. That is one place I'd like to visit. That is another one. There's you know what? I yield. Let's see, where do I begin? I have said this before. I yield to the excellent coverage in East Tennessee from those fantastic channels such as Chris and Yankee in the South, All About the Smokies and others. There is a ton of great coverage for all of your East Tennessee needs. I tend to be more over here in Western North Carolina and some other places. It's not that I don't ever do it, because like I said, I did Ripley's and some other stuff. And you also get my perspective when I see these things, but I really do mean like there is some great coverage. So if anybody is really yearning to see something, I highly recommend those channels. Friends of the channel, they really are. I mean, if you go to my channel and you look at, there's a list of like friends of the channel or something like that, or linked channels. The channels I just listed are all listed there. But yes, I have not been to Anakeesta. That's another one you can buy season passes, which I think it would make it much more worth it, because for one day to go up there, it is kind of pricey. But you know what? I need to do that sometime. That's a great suggestion. Are these specific to locals? Can anybody buy? Excellent question. And the answer is, you betcha. I am not a resident of Tennessee. I did it last year. If you look at my video for Ripley's, you don't have to watch it, but if you watch the first few minutes of Ripley's, believe it or not, from my channel, the first 5 minutes, you see me go to Food City and I buy the passes. You basically get a paper receipt that literally has a code on it. You take that receipt, you go over to the aquarium, you give it to them, they take your picture, you get your cards, and you're done. Anybody can do it. And I'm assuming you're going to, because you cover the Smokies. So yes. AZ Rock, I'm not going to need to be nudged much, by the way. So I say go for it and get the passes. I love it. I was just wondering if it's going to be too much, but I don't know. If the pandemic subsides, it might be one of those things where, every other weekend we're going over to East Tennessee. There's so much to do over here, though. I don't want to undersell Western North Carolina. We have so much fun and there's so much outdoors to do here. We love where we live. So really there's more to do than there is time. But a lot of the flashy entertainment stuff is over there in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. Ripley's offers so many places for the price. They do. Nothing too different, just more structured to make me put out more videos. Oh, okay. Well, excellent. I love the goal, and always a supporter of your channel and as a friend. Let's see here. Ripley's would be so much closer for short days. Yeah. And it is for a short day. Dollywood is, you're probably not going to go there for an hour or two, although you could. But you can. We've done it a few times this year, especially pandemic. Go over, play putt-putt, grab some to-go food, and come back home. It's like the drive, because the drive from where we live to Gatlinburg is a beautiful, winding through the mountains on I-40, the Foothills Parkway, going into Gatlinburg. The drive itself is like an adventure. So that'd be a great deal if you live close by. Yes, it would be. I bought the passes last year, but paid full price. Yeah, don't do it. Get them now. Get over to Food City in Gatlinburg and get your passes. Mr. Mountain had about 9 kids. That makes the passes more expensive from sure. Yeah. I guess, yeah, we definitely have a troop here. And so the Dollywood passes were a little bit of an investment, and so were the fun pass. But honestly, from a standpoint, the Ripley's passes plus the Dollywood passes still don't cost as much as what we would put into Disney passes. Buy them both, enjoy it with the family. As again, it's not going to take me much of a nudge. I think I'm already got one foot out the door, ready to go to Food City. Sorry we're late. Hello, Mom. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are doing well. Go Steelers, go Buckeyes. Tell Dad I said hello. Love you guys. All right, let me go to the next story. Keeping in the same thing. Dollywood season passes are now on sale. All right, so you know that. I bought them. Purchase by February 7th and receive the following perks. The lowest price on a new 2021 season pass. Now that got my eyebrows raised a little bit. The lowest price, I thought the lowest price was last night. That's why I bought them. Well, it's a technically accurate phrase, because as of this point, the lowest price you will get on a season pass is what they are offering. Doesn't mean the lowest price ever. It just means right now it's the lowest price. Little bit of wordsmithing. One of the cool things about the Dollywood passes, I don't know how long they've been doing this, but they offer you 3 bring a friend tickets to use at either park anytime you want in 2021. There are some blackout dates probably for holidays. That is 3 per pass. Okay. So every member of the family got 3 extra tickets. That's pretty cool. So if I got my sister coming to town or my parents or somebody else and they want to go to Dollywood, pretty much they're going to go for free. I mean, not pretty much, they are, unless we use up the tickets, or maybe if the kids want to bring a friend that's safe, pandemic. Anyway, that's a pretty cool perk. So yeah. You can spread your payment over 6 months. As of yesterday, you could do it as 8 months if you wanted to. Wait, flexible bring a friend free tickets valid anytime during the 21 season or at Dollywood or Dollywood Splash Country. Now that's interesting because the pass we bought was not the super pass. I bought a gold pass for me and the rest of them got season passes, but that does not include Dollywood Splash Park. But if the bring a friend tickets work for the Splash Park, could the family use the bring a friend tickets to go to the Splash Park one time? I have to figure that out because, I mean, that would be cool to go to the Splash Park. Anyway, so check out these prices if you can see them on the screen. They are $139 right now. As of yesterday, they were $134. They went up $5. All right. So the whole marketing campaign about the lowest price of the season, yes, it's true. And that's $5 a person. But yeah, you're not talking about massive savings. Not like those Ripley's passes. When they go to full price, you're going to be spending for a large family $100, $200 plus more dollars, versus saving, $20, $30, $40, whatever, on these passes. Anyway, getting ready for the theme park season. Next up. Now, this is what Larry mentioned. This is an interesting take too. We did not buy these, and no, I'm not buying 3 season passes. We just can't do it. But in 2022, maybe. So Carowinds is the regional theme park I used to go to a lot when I lived in Charlotte. They are owned by Cedar Fair Entertainment, which is like Cedar Point, Kings Dominion, Kings Island, but Knott's Berry Farm. There are the number of parks there are in the country are California's Great America, Canada's Wonderland, Carowinds, Cedar Point, Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom, Gilroy Gardens, Kings Dominion, Kings Island, Knott's Berry Farm, Michigan's Adventure, Valley Fair, and Worlds of Fun. All those parks I just mentioned, if you get that platinum pass right there, you get to go to all of them. That's a bang up deal. How much is it? $202. All right, let me flip back. How much is the Dollywood Gold Pass? $224. And that does not include the water parks. You go back over here, the Platinum Pass for $202 plus tax. Well, both of them you have to add tax in. That's a pretty good deal. That is, you can go to your regional. If you live near one of these parks, you go to that as your home base, and then you do a little road trip regionally, and you go to another park, so you don't get fatigue of the same park. That is a heck of a deal. That definitely has to happen in the future. Maybe we'll switch it up after doing Dollywood a bunch. Maybe we'll get these platinum passes. We'll go to Carowinds a bunch, and then head up. If we're in Ohio, go to Cedar Point or to Kings Island. Or Minnesota Valley Fair or where any of these places. But I'll be honest with you, 202 to go to all parks as much as you want is unbelievable. I would think that to go to all those parks as much as you wanted, this pass would be more like $400 or $500. I mean, that is really, really a good deal. Of course, you can buy the Gold Pass, which is for one park for only $100. That is also a bang up deal. So if any of those parks I listed are in your area, you should consider that. That is one heck of a deal for a lot of entertainment for not a whole heap load of an investment. Let me see if there's any comments on that. Let's see here. Did anybody say anything? Disney sounds quite expensive. So, okay, I'm going to tell you one advantage about Disney World and the annual passes. you know, a lot of people go on vacation. What we did is we invested in the annual passes, and I forget, it was a couple $1,000s or something like that, I think. It was cheaper early on post financial crisis because Disney wasn't making as much money. And, but then it went up pretty hard after that. But if you renewed, you got a deal. Here's the thing about Disney that I loved. You were allowed to bring into the park food and water. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Dollywood does not. So there is a hidden cost there, because if you have a family with kids, you are not allowed to bring in snacks. You're not allowed to bring in water bottles. Yes, they have the $30 per person cup for unlimited soda for the year. And you do get 20% off when you have the gold pass. But let's be honest, you still need to budget $50 to $100. And are there other things you can do? Can you go out to your car on a 95-degree hot Tennessee summer day and eat peanut butter and jelly in your car? Yes. Is that ideal? No. Can you go back to the car and drive out to the parkway, eat, and come back to the park? Yes. Is that ideal? No. So when we were able to go to Disney World and bring in our own food and drinks, it saved so much money, because we weren't buying souvenirs. We weren't buying food. We would pack sub sandwiches, water, snacks. Because we had a stroller, we would put the coolers on it. We had a whole system down. We got into the park and we had 2 meals on, in the stroller, all the drinks and everything, and wouldn't spend a dime other than the gas to get to Orlando and back. I wish Dollywood would do that, but I understand. And it makes money. The other thing is, if you got a hungry family and you got to wait in line, or you don't have a reservation or whatever. And also a lot of the places at the theme parks tend to be kind of small on portion size, which when you build up a big Mr. Mountain Man size appetite, doesn't bode well. Although I've seen at Dollywood, the buffet and the family style eating and some of the other places, you can get a lot more food. So, that sounds good, but it is expensive, but it is kind of the cream of the crop of, kind of the theme park industry. But you pay for it. So yeah, there's pluses and minuses to it. Pretty much have to sell a child or something if you don't live in Florida. Yeah. I haven't been in over 20 years. I may not go anytime soon. Chris, really the ironic thing is, the other thing, if you were planning on going, is like the time to go is now. If you're going to go, because they are offering more deals because of what's gone on with the pandemic. And there's ways to navigate Disney without spending a ton of money. You don't stay on Disney grounds. You stay over, near Disney Springs and Lake Buena Vista. Those hotels compete for your business because people want the full Disney experience. So they stay off property and you get a free breakfast buffet and the cheaper hotel rates and a bigger room. You just have to drive to the parks. There's whole worlds of learning about Disney and, going to Disney and channels and all kinds of stuff. If anybody's ever really interested, we can strike up an extended Disney World conversation someday. I'd be more than happy to. For old farts who want to stay and eat there in fancier restaurants. I've been to Dollywood twice. It's nice. It's hard to spend a bunch of time there if you're not local. I'm interested. Can you expand on that? What do you mean by that? Like, is it because the lines are long, or just because you've got other things to do? I'm interested in your opinion. Cedar Fair has the food passes. It was like $69 added to your platinum pass, and you got 2 meals a day all season. So I saw the great point. I saw that Dollywood has a food pass too, but it was only good for the water park. So I guess they're trying to get business over there. It was like, buy our dine pass or whatever it was called and get 2 meals and a snack, or a meal and a snack every visit at Dollywood Splash Country. But it didn't say anything about Dollywood, because if they had a dine pass, I would start evaluating that, because at $50 to $100 budgeting per trip to eat at the parks, you can make a better deal there. I think, doing it, you could get a better deal with that. Put snacks in the baby strollers. And I thought about that. I've heard they're pretty militant about like not letting things in. You are allowed to bring stuff for the baby, like formula or things for the baby. But I think if I bring like a Sam's Club sized box of snack bars, they'll be like, that's for your baby with no teeth, like that kind of thing. So we will have to feel that out and see. I think I've conceded to the fact that I'm not going to try and push it with Dollywood to to save money. It is what it is. And this was known going in, that, we'll budget for it and we'll enjoy some of the restaurants and such. In fact, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the restaurant. I'm sure all you do. It's the buffet or the family style eating one. And with the 20% off, I think that's what we'll be eyeballing. Maybe what we'll do, because again, we're a theme park experience family. What we'd probably do is fill our bellies on the way into the park and then have one really nice meal at the park. I think we'll feel that out. More to be determined on that one. Because I have other things to do. We used to only come to the Smokies once or twice a year. So if you're not there a lot, spending hours at one place feels like a waste. So I'm not a local, but you could call me on the fringe radius local, because here in Asheville, 2 hours, 100 miles, as you heard me say. So it's not extremely far. So if we went to Pigeon Forge for the day to go to Dollywood, it would be for Dollywood. It would not, I think, but you make a good point, and so did Rita and others. Maybe if I do buy the Ripley's passes, it's, hey, do you guys want to go to Dollywood, ride a few rides, and then hit putt-putt on the way out of town, and then Chipotle or something? I don't know, whatever. Yes, Aunt Granny's, that's the one. The kids might, thank you, Karen, or Story has it. The kids might have fun riding the trolley, like park at Patriot Park and hop on the trolley to Dollywood. Oh, cool. Yeah. Always looking for good ideas about that. So we are definitely looking forward to this. I will tell you, when we left Florida, we were sad to leave Disney and all of that. But as you've seen with the 3 news pieces I had here, between Ripley's, Dollywood, and Carowinds, there is no shortage of entertainment here in this part of the mountains. One more thing I just thought was interesting. I wanted to have a regular news story in here. Positive gains continue in Western North Carolina housing market. The reason I bring this up is because it is a popular thread, especially on the bigger channels here in the community. People are always like, I want to move to the area. I love the area. I want to move to the area. Love the area. But what is happening here in Western North Carolina, it's really, really popular and getting really expensive. But there is still but what it is it's interesting. There's a wide diversity of housing. There's everything from manufacturing housing and then, to single family homes and of course apartments and condos, but there's not a lot of in the middle stuff. And what you might traditionally think is like maybe a smaller house or something that's, entry level or simple can bring in like high dollar because the area is so sought after. So just quickly on this, the mountains counties of Western North Carolina posted another strong month of home sales in November. According to MLS, home sales across the 13 county region jumped 40% year over year. 1,200 homes sold, and low mortgage rates, accolades from topretirements.com, which named Asheville its #1 best place to retire, and Renaissance Consultancy, which ranked Asheville 5th in its best small cities. In June 2020, have fueled interest from buyers fleeing pandemic conditions in larger cities. We have seen that, a lot of people moving from big cities into more rural areas. Brian Cagle, Canopy MLS Board of Directors, said, despite economic challenges the past year, the region's housing market is stronger and healthier than ever going into the new year. Housing demand continues to increase. Area realtors are working hard to find people homes with the challenges of rising prices amidst low inventory. For buyers seeking homes in Metro Asheville, strong seller market conditions of low inventory, frequent price increases, and faster pace of sales will continue to next year, with lower mortgage rates, a vibrant growing city, and the natural beauty of the area, along with access to a number of outdoor activities, will continue to attract buyers. However, affordability is an increasing concern. Our leadership will have to be innovative on their solutions to this growing issue. So yeah, long and the short of the story is it is a very, very popular place to live here. A lot of people visit here, then they want to retire here. It's driven prices up. And a lot of people are, bringing their nest eggs. So they're building nice houses. Some of it's getting a little outrageous though, especially in Asheville proper. But anyway, yeah. So, but we still have the beauty of the mountains, and it's pretty. So as always, I always wrap it up with the forecast here. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of snowflakes in there. It says Friday, 36, 26. Who knows, Chris? Maybe we'll get a little bit of snow that day. Maybe Thursday as well. Pretty typical for this time of the year. I'd like to see it come off the 50s and down a little bit lower, but certainly enjoying that. Yeah, so there you have it. That is the news and notes for the week of January the 4th, 2021. Catch back up on the comments, and let's see here. Real estate. Whoops, I moved on me. Real estate is strong in most markets. Yeah. You know, and unfortunately, I got bit by that when we moved to Florida. We bought a house in 2005, and then the financial crisis happened. No, excuse me, in 2006. And then the financial crisis and the crash happened, or just call it financial crisis, and the economy tanked. And our house value went in half. And we never did recoup that before we sold it. It was really unfortunate. And so, you know, overinflated markets, like any type of, you know, investment or whatever is, you know, it's all demand. I remember when we moved to Florida and I had asked, it wasn't a realtor, it was somebody who was building houses. It was the representative at the neighborhood. And I knew prices were high because I had known what it was like in North and South Carolina. And I said, do you think prices will come down? And he kind of chuckled and, every day, 3,200 people move to the state of Florida. Prices will do nothing but go up, up, up. You shouldn't expect to see anything go down. Now, here's a movie shout out. I may have mentioned this before. This is why I really enjoy it. My dad and mom know this, or my dad. I really enjoy that movie called The Big Short. It has Christian Bale in it. And it has to do about the financial crisis. It's a movie, but it's loosely based on, or it is based on real events. The response I got from that gentleman was very much like some of the attitude and behavior that was in the movie and from the state of Florida in the movie. I lived it, and it was a true thing. I mean, everybody was just, you know, it was crazy what was going on there. And so anyway, interesting movie. Let's see. Wow, we were moving in with you. Well, no. You can move to Asheville if you want. No, I love you guys. Actually, you guys have a wonderful place in Ohio, and the area of Ohio you live outside of Columbus, in its own way, has its kind of country, rolling hills kind of look to it as you get over. Actually, as I always used to think, getting over towards Zanesville and stuff, you start to get that mountainous, hilly kind of geography to it. Whereas if you go the other side of Columbus and you go out 70 towards Hilliard and out that way, it's very flat, like as you go towards Indiana. Mid-range affordable homes are in short supply. That is huge here in Asheville. Like that, you know, like a working person salary type house, very difficult to find. Now, where it was more reasonable was Charlotte, North Carolina. There was a lot of affordable housing there, but it was a lot larger of an area. Will you be on next Monday, being national championship night for the Buckeyes? Thank you, Living Like Larry, for mentioning that. I would say there is about a 99% chance the answer is no. I'm sorry, guys. The national championship's at 8 o'clock. Between work and that, I will be watching the football game, so I don't think so listen, I went long tonight to make up for last week, and for next week, I don't think I'll be doing a live stream next week. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I do not think that I will be doing that. Would be nice for some more snow. I would love to get some more snow. Hope we get more than a dusting we received last month. Yeah. I'd love, 2 years ago, we got 18 inches and it was awesome. And I'm like, we're going to get this all the time. It hasn't happened since. Interest rates are the lowest ever, so it's much different than 07, 08. Yeah, well, in 07 and 08, we're always talking about movies. Watch that movie, The Big Short, because it makes sense of what happened with basically all these, mortgage-backed real estate and bonds that were put together with all these default mortgages. Is basically horrible investments that were the pillar of the economy, that when they came crashing down, it was just this awful effect. So from people from a distance, there was a lot of, Occupy Wall Street and all this stuff and what was going on. But if you pull back the curtain a little bit and look at what happened, it's fascinating in a documentary or knowledge perspective about what really happened. It's kind of an, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. There's a lot of good documentaries on Amazon as well about that. Let's see here. But yes, you are correct. Everyone is moving here, apartments and houses popping up everywhere. You know, the only thing, I lived in apartments for years early on. The only thing that scares me all the time when I see apartments being built and a lot being built around here, in the area that one house would be built with, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, whatever it is, you build a 4-story apartment and you know how many people live in that? When you see them carve out a little plot of land and put these 4-story apartments all clustered together, I start thinking about, oh my gosh, the traffic, the congestion, in an already populated area. That's what I think when I see apartments sometimes. They're great. I lived in them. I lived in those 3 and 4-story apartments a lot. And they're fantastic. It's just when they build them, if it's not a big area, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's going to be a lot of people. Was it Santa you were talking to? It might have been. Was I talking to? When I made that voice? Yeah. The guy, the way the guy turned. Yeah, I guess it was. He thought he was Santa. Yeah. That's hilarious. I'm not afraid to do a snow dance. That's right. We do live close to Mr. Mountain Man's mom. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Are you you're in Ohio, right? Yeah. Yes, subprime mortgages caused the market crash, and they basically packaged up those subprime loans into what the AAA rated bonds that people were buying, but they were all full of garbage assets, and they were getting those ratings from Moody's and everything because there was pressure and at all these large banks like Lehman Brothers and others. Anyway, I don't want to bore you guys. I found it interesting. I found it interesting in hindsight. Not at the time. It was not fun at the time. So what's your offer? Yeah. No offer is just an observation. Problem is, most often those shiny new apartments cost more than a mortgage, sometimes twice. Yeah. Last I lived in an apartment, which was 17 years ago. The last one I lived in was a 2-bedroom apartment, not far from Carowinds, I think, in Charlotte. Was that the last? Yeah. And it was it 900 or 1,000, maybe 1,100 a month? I don't know, something like that. I don't remember exactly. Thanks, Mr. Mountain Man, for the live. Great way to start the new year. Everyone have a fantastic week or two. You know what? I'm going to wrap it up. That's my cue. I think that I've been going for a while. I have really enjoyed tonight. We had a lot of great conversations. What a way to start the new year. I hope everybody enjoyed this. I sure enjoyed speaking with you. I hope the video quality, I heard a couple of times, maybe once or twice, I hope it was excellent so everybody was able to enjoy. Thank you, Rita. This was a great live stream. One of the best ever. I loved every minute of it. Well, that's a great way to start 2020, and what a great comment. I like that. That's awesome. And yes, have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, Rita. Again, have a great week. Good night. Good talking to you all. Good night. Foxy gets a thumbs up. Thanks for the conversation. My first time to catch you live. God bless. Same to you, Naoka Smith. Really appreciate it. Foxy, yes, Sleepy, have a safe and wonderful week. Be safe out there. I wish all of you a happy, healthy, prosperous new year. Enjoy, and no live stream next week. We'll do one in 2 weeks, and we'll get this going again. So until next time, everyone, thank you for being here this evening. Happy New Year, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Good night, everyone.